So my mom was just giving me like this explanation and stuff. At first, I was not even understanding what she was saying. Like all she was saying was just coming into one of my ear and just getting out from the other part of my ear. I was like, I don't want to have this kind of discussion. The only thing in my mind that time was just stop this bleeding. I don't even want to see this bleeding. Let this bleeding just stop. Like, why am I bleeding? Hi loves, welcome or welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Hope you all are doing great. As you can tell from the title of this video is going to be all about my experience throughout my experience ever since when I became a woman. Like the world do say that when you start seeing your period, when you start seeing your menstruation, you are now a full-grown woman, that is, you're capable of giving birth. So yeah, this is just like my experience so far. And actually, I've been procrastinating this video. I did want to film this video, but I was just like, you know what, let's just film this. Like, there are some things that I might share with you all that some of you all might actually relate to what I'm saying, why some of you all might not relate to what I'm saying. So the purpose of this video, the reason why I just said let me film this video is because I just felt like, okay, let's just do something that I can, do a girl talk with you, or just talk with my ladies, just share certain things that sometimes some ladies actually passes through this thing, just communicate one-on-one as lady to lady. So yeah, that's just the reason why I decided to film this video. So without wasting so much of your time, let's dive right into the video. Now, I'll be starting with what is period, that is menstruation. So I think everything I'm just going to be sharing with you on mostly is based on like my own experience as an individual. Okay, so when it comes to period, we all know what period means. It means like the monthly cycle of a woman where she sheds blood. Shedding of blood, most time people do allocate it to like 28 days and all those stuff. Okay, well, for me, when I saw my period, the first day I actually saw my period, I didn't actually know what period is. Okay, I didn't actually know what period is. I think what I was doing that day, I was actually playing ball. So yeah, this is something that I love. You all might not know this about me, because I've not said this about me on this channel. So when I was small, because I am the only girl and I have 3 brothers, I have 2 elder brothers and 1 younger brother. So I am in the midst of boys and I'm the only girl in my family. So my elder brothers now, they were this type of people that loved playing ball. So that time when we were small, we do play ball and I was their goalkeeper. So I really want to keep for them while my 2 elder brothers plays against themselves. So okay, this is why I was actually giving that stories, because so that day, that very hot afternoon, we were playing ball. I was actually playing ball with my brothers. I was keeping, and then all of a sudden, I started feeling like something was dropping out from my, from my down part area, my vagina. Something was just dropping from my vagina, and I was like, what is actually happening? Like, what's dropping from my vagina? So I quickly took an excuse for my brothers. I was like, I'm coming. Let me use the toilet. I don't understand what is actually wrong with me. So I went into the toilet, and then when I removed my clothes, chocolate was dropping out, and then all of a sudden, my underwears was stained with blood. And I was very terrified. Like, this is just my experience. I was very, very terrified. I didn't know what was actually happening. I didn't know that there's something that is even called period. There's something that is even called menstruation. I didn't know anything about all those stuff. So I was so scared. I started thinking that, as soon as I knew, I would have stopped playing this ball with my brothers. See, now because I'm playing ball with my brothers, I've ended up injuring myself. So I felt like it's because I was playing ball with my brothers. That is why I had this injury, and it was very, very terrifying. Like, I was so scared. But the funny thing again was that when that blood was coming out, I was trying to touch my private parts to know if I actually had injury. I was not feeling pain. Okay, it was like you're bringing out blood and you're not feeling pain. That time, like my mentality that time, it was like, if you get injured, you're supposed to feel pain in a particular place. That place that blood is coming out, you're supposed to feel pain at least. But I was not feeling pain. But blood was just coming out, but there was no pain. So it was so confusing to me. And that time my mom was not around. Yeah, my mom went to work that time, and the only person that was around was my dad. So it was something I couldn't So this was something I couldn't talk to my brothers about. I went straight to my dad and I was crying. I was so confused. I was like, God, what have I done to deserve this? Like, to be very sincere, guys, remember, I was like, God, what have I done to actually deserve this? Like, what kind of problem is this? Have I put myself into? So I was so terrified. I cried and I went to go and meet my dad. So I asked my dad that. I told my dad that, Maybe I don't know, I got injured, I have injury. He was like, where did you have injury? So I was really kind of shy to tell him that I had injury in my private part and all those stuff. So I was just kind of shy. I felt like, I wish my mom was around. I would have not been shy to like talk to my mom about all this stuff. But it was just my dad that was around, and it was my dad that could like cheer me up in that situation. So I went to my dad. I told him. Then he was like, "Where did you actually have injury on? That why are you crying like this?" And I told her that you have injury. I was not pointing that. I didn't want to say something like my bum bum, but that was just what was on my head. So I was just pointing that. I was like, "They have injury down there. Then my dad started laughing. I was like, "Why are you laughing?" In my mind, though, I was like, "Dad, why are you laughing? Why is he laughing? Like this is not even it's not a funny thing." Okay, it was not a funny thing. It was even making me more annoyed the way he was laughing. I was like, "This is not funny. Why is he laughing?" So I started burning my face for my dad. I burned my face. So my dad now realized that I hated the fact that he was actually laughing because of my funny comments. So then, what my dad now told me was I should stop crying, that I should clean my tears, I should stop crying, that it's like a normal thing that happens to a human. And I was like, "What do you mean by?" In my mind, I was like, "What does he mean by normal thing that happens to a human?" I mean, I don't see, my mom doesn't complain that blood is coming out from her body. My friends in secondary school don't complain that blood is coming out from their body. So what does my dad actually mean by it's a normal thing that happens to a human? But I didn't actually know how to like, make this type of discussion with him, because one, I was actually shy and I was not really, really comfortable at that point to like have that kind of discussion with my dad. Okay, so everything was just so confusing. So what my dad just did was like, he told me I should trust him, okay, that he's not going to do anything that is going to hurt me, that I should just trust him and stop crying, that this is not something that like it's something that actually happens to every woman. And he even went ahead to buy me a biscuit, said, "Okay, I should take this biscuit and I should stop crying, that when my mom comes back, that I should talk to my mom about it." I was eagerly waiting for when my mom will come back that day. So immediately my mom came back home, I was so happy. The first thing in my mind I told her was, "Mommy, I have injury." And my mom was like, "What kind of injury do you have? And why are you crying like that?" Then I told my mom, "I have injury in my bum bum, that and blood is really, really coming outside. It is staining my clothes, that she should see. Then my mom now like brought me closer. She now explained everything to me. She now explained that there is something that they call menstruation, okay, that when a lady starts seeing her menstruation, that it's a sign that yes, she's ready for womanhood. That means she's ready to like start bringing in children into the world. So my mom was just giving me like this explanation and all this stuff. At first I was not even understanding what she was saying. Like all she was saying was just coming into one of my ear and just getting out from the other part of my ear. I was like, I don't want to have this kind of discussion. The only thing in my mind that time was just stop this bleeding. I don't even want to see this bleeding. Let this bleeding just stop. Like, why am I bleeding? I didn't actually get what she was actually talking about. Okay. So my mom now like explained everything and all those stuff. Then what she now did at that point, what she just gave me was like a tissue paper. Okay, I didn't even know anything like pad at that point. I don't even know what period is, so how will I know what pad actually means? So my mom just gave me tissue paper that I should wear this thing. So she wore it for me and all those stuff. And then she was like, "This thing will help me like so that this blood will not actually touch my underwear." So that was what she told me, that I should wear this. So I started I started wearing the tissue paper and all those stuff, and that also prevented me from going to school. Because I was like, if I go to school now, this one is going to come and stain me on my clothes. No, I cannot go to school. My friends are going to be laughing at me. I refuse to go to school. Like this brought like an issue between me and my parents. My parents would be like, "Chuma, go to school." I'll be like, "No, I'm not going anywhere." Why? Because I am injured. To me, I still felt like I was injured. Blood is coming out of my body. So I don't want a situation whereby people be like, my friends will not start laughing at me and all this stuff. So I refused bluntly to actually go to school. Then my mom, she looked for every possible means. Then she had to like now educate me very, very well. Then the way I was actually cleared about that stuff was, there was a day when I went to school, and that was when all those my first months of seeing my period in my life, like I finished with that first cycle. So I went to school. So there's this thing they do call symposium that they do call in my secondary school. They separate boys from girls. So yeah, they separated us and they were giving like a girl talk to like upcoming ladies. So they talked about this stuff and I was like, oh wow, so this is something that actually happens to all women. So it's actually now made me stop feeling sad. So when immediately they mentioned that topic that we are going to be talking about menstruation and all this stuff, my ears were open. Like my ears were very, very open. I listened to every single information they told me about it, and it was from there I knew what pad actually means. So from there, they taught us how to make use of pads. And after that lecture that day, I really gained a lot. I was really, really clarified on a lot of things. And then I also spoke with my friends, like how did they do this stuff? Like how did they carry themselves on their period and all those stuff. So some of my friends, like they explained this to me based on their little knowledge, as small children we still are, based on their little knowledge. So they explained this stuff to me. So when I go back home, I told my mom that they talked about this stuff. And then I asked my mom that, "Mommy, I want to be using pad." Because according to the lecturer, he was like, making use of sanitary pad is is very, very hygienic. That some people make use of tissue paper, but sanitary pad is actually very hygienic. So I told my mom I want to make use of sanitary pad, that I don't want to be having all of a sudden Chioma started thinking like a grown-up woman. I started thinking like a woman. It was actually very, very funny. So my mom began to smile. She was actually happy that wow, so this school was actually able to lecture the children on this kind of topic. So after I finished telling my mom said, okay, no problem. That, do you know how to make use of the pad? You know all those stuff that did they teach you any other thing? I was like, yeah, they taught us how to make use of the pad. My mom wanted to actually like help me to make use of the pad, but I was like, no, let me do it myself. I was so happy, like I was so happy, and the way I was very, very happy. I never did that at that point. I think when I saw my period first, I didn't actually experience anything like menstrual cramp. For me, when I saw my period, the first month and the second month of seeing my period, I never experienced anything of menstrual cramp. It was just something that came out and it just left. So it was gradually, as I started growing, that I started experiencing menstrual cramps. So I was actually insisting that no, let me make use of this pad myself. So I tried to make use of this pad. My mom got me a pad, and yeah, this is just a pad. I just want to use this to like show you the way I was using this pad. I was actually using this pad very wrongly. Like it was very, very confusing. This thing was confusing me, and it was even annoying me very, very well. That what the hell is going on? Like, is it that I didn't actually understand what these people said, and I just want to do it myself? I don't know why. I just had this sense of womanhood. All of a sudden, where did this sense actually come from? I don't know. Instead of me to just tell my mom, this is actually confusing me. I refused to tell my mom that. I said, I am going to figure this thing out myself. I must figure this thing out myself. So in the process of figuring this thing out, like I said, I was actually making use of my pad in a very wrong way. So yeah, when I got the pad, naturally you just have to open it. So this is where I was now having the problem of making use of my pad. So now this is the pad, okay? This is the pad, and instead of me to like, naturally you're supposed to make use of this place. That this is where you're supposed to put into your vagina. So this place we are supposed to put in, but no, I didn't know that. I was feeling like it was this back here. I felt like it was the back I had to like put in. So what I was now doing is I took this paper here at the back of this pad. I now removed the paper from the back of this pad, and then I now tried to fix it this way. Remember, that I was like, okay, if I remove this paper from the back of this pad, then I will now fix it. That is how it's meant to be. I never knew that it is just that I don't need to like remove this paper from the back of the pad. I just need to like open this up and then insert it. So this thing was confusing me. I kept on thinking, what exactly should I do? How do they do this stuff and all those stuff? Like, it was so annoying. Until the end of like after my confusion and everything, I just said, you know what? Let me just feel the front and feel the back. So I just used my common senses. At first, my common senses, I don't know where my common senses went to, but my common senses just came back all of a sudden. And then I now felt the front side, I felt this place, and then I felt this back. Then my common senses told me that if you pour water on the back of this pad, is the water going to like absorb in? Won't the water drop off? Then my common sense told me yes, it's going to drop off. Then I was like, but if you pour water in the front of this pad, is it going to drop off? Won't it absorb in? Then I said yes, it is going to absorb in. Then I figured it out. I was like, oh, okay. So let me just, let me just put this one in the front. So from there, that was how I knew how to wear pad myself. After the whole confusion and everything, I ended up figuring this thing out. And also, when I saw my period, I think I was like 12 years old. Yes, I was actually 12 years old when I saw my period. So for a period, like when people actually see their period, sometimes you can actually see your period at age 10. Yeah, you can be even 10 years old and you see your period. But for me, I saw my period at age 12. So I was 12 years old when I actually saw my period. And guys, there is another funny thing that I actually forgot to like share with you all. Thank God I actually remembered this. When I saw my period, like during the time when my mom was educating me about what period is all about, there was this thing. I don't know if your moms also did this to you, but my own mom really did this to me, and it's very funny right now, but at then it was not funny at all. And what she did was she told me that now you started seeing your period, anyone that touches you, like because they even touch you on your hand like this, you get pregnant. At first I was like, what does get pregnant even mean? So she was not telling me what pregnancy actually means. My mom did not even tell me. Everything she told me about pregnancy was scary. She was like, when you get pregnant, you will not be able to eat. Maybe you like to eat indomie, you like to eat this one, you like to eat noodles. Sometimes you will eat sour food because this is what the baby will want. You cannot eat what you want. You will eat what the baby wants. There are so many things that my mom told me. My mom even told me that sometimes you will not sleep in the night. You'll be having pains. Your body will be paining you. You'll be vomiting. There's a lot of things my mom actually scared me with. I was so scared. I was like, no, why are you actually telling me this thing? You're actually scaring the hell out of me. That was what my mom told me. She was like, if any guy touches you, if he even touch you on your hand, if he holds your hand, you will get pregnant though. you will get pregnant. You know, as a small child now, I believed it. So this thing caused problem in my secondary school. Whenever I go to school, I don't have male friends. Like, this thing made me not to have male friends. I don't talk to guys, so if your guy comes to talk to me, I won't be shifting away from you. That's why my seat partner, I cannot even sit down with a guy. Like, my seat partner, I refuse to sit down with a guy. I always make sure that any person that wants to sit down with me is a girl. So until the lecturer, our teacher, our secondary school teacher, realized it, and then she was like, okay, this girl Chioma will not be sitting down with a boy, she's going to be sitting down with a girl. So my fifth partner was girl. I had no male friend. I don't even talk to male friends. I don't talk to guys. Like, if you want to talk to me, just be in a very, very far distance. Don't come close to me. If you want to hold me, I will shout. Like, if you want to come close to me or hold me, I run away. Like, it's also so funny. My lecturers, my teachers in school was really laughing at me. My friends were laughing at me. There was nothing anybody told me. Even my lecturers, my school teachers were like trying to like explain it to me that no, this is not what it actually means. I don't want to hear. Like, it's anything my mom told me that is right. So to my own understanding, I was like, no, as long as my mom has told me, like, you don't love me more than my mom loves me. I already have that mentality that nobody outside can actually love you more than the way your parents love you. So that mentality was in my head that no, so what you're saying, it doesn't matter. As long as my mom has said it, that is fine now. So until everything, then my mom now, like, as I was growing and all the stuff, she realized that this thing was, I was actually taking this in a very wrong way. It was making me not even have male friends. You know, it was just like making me to be running away unnecessarily from guys and all those stuff. So my mom now later clarified to me that when she told me that kind of stuff, she doesn't necessarily mean like touch you. Like, she now explained to me what sexual intercourse actually means. That it is when you have that kind of sexual intercourse that will happen. Then I was like, Mom, why do you do this to me? After all these years, you know, make me running away. I'm behaving like this. It was very annoying that time, but right now, whenever I remember these things, it's just very funny. I just tend to laugh. So yeah, this is just something that, you know, my mom implanted in my head that made me very, very scared about menstruation and all those stuff. And then now coming to my difficulty with my period. Oh my god, like, if you're that type of lady that you don't get menstrual cramps when you're on your period, you're a special human being. You're very, very lucky. God has blessed you. Oh my god, like, I am a perfect definition of those ladies that actually have menstrual cramps on their period. And the worst thing is that my own menstrual cramps last for 2 days, like 48 hours. I don't even mean if your period comes out in the evening, then one day I've already come. No, 48 hours. Like, this period pain actually lasts for 48 hours, and it's so bad. Like, anytime my period comes out, it now makes me, whenever I want to see my period, I will start feeling bad. All of a sudden, I will just start feeling bad. Why? Because of the period pain. At the same time, I'm feeling happy, yes, because I'm seeing my period, because there are some girls that don't even have the privilege to see their period, and that is a very, very terrifying situation to find yourself in. And I don't pray I ever find myself in that kind of situation. So, despite the fact I was actually feeling bad, just because of the pain, of course, I was actually feeling happy anytime I see my period and all those stuff. But the pain was not even something to write home about. So in the process of trying to like cure this pain stuff, like, what am I going to do? I'm always feeling so much pain. Even sometimes safe, like, whenever I feel this pain, I tend to vomit sometimes. Not usually if the pain actually came out so much, I tend to even vomit. And it even makes me have this lose appetite. Like, food that I eat on a regular basis, I will not be able to eat it. It will not look like as if I'm feeling sick or what. You know, I just lose my appetite. So these are some of the things that actually happens to me whenever I'm on my period. And yes, this menstrual cramp still happens to me till date. Okay, it is still something that happens to me till date. So I was on the journey of, what am I going to use to get rid of this pain? And I'm the type of person that hates medicine. Like, I hate taking medicine. I hate it a lot. Like, if you see me take medicine, like, if you see me where I take medicine, you are going to laugh. To be very sincere, you're going to actually laugh, because I really hate medicine. So at first, when I spoke to my mom about this menstrual cramp stuff, she was like, I should be taking paracetamol. I was like, paracetamol what? Me, that when I'm having headache, I rather endure that headache, let that headache be hitting me, than for me to go and take paracetamol. And you're not telling me that I should come and take paracetamol because of menstrual cramp. I was like, no, I'm not going to take paracetamol. And if you want to take paracetamol, you know paracetamol is big, and you have to take 2 again of paracetamol. So I was like, no, but I'm not going to do that. Then my mom said, hey, don't take it now. The pain will continue to prepare you there. Don't take it. You better can't be taking paracetamol. And one of my mind now told me, like, well, why don't you just talk to one of your friends and let them tell you what they actually take to like get rid of this pain? So I spoke to one of my friends. That one said, I don't have experience menstrual cramps. And I was like, wow, does this actually happen? Like, so there are girls that don't experience menstrual cramps. Then in my mind, I was not like, God, why do you do this? Like, why do you just choose to wicked me? It's actually funny, like, but that time, that was just the way I was thinking. Okay, I was like, I felt like God was trying to wicked me. Every other girl does not experience pain, so why is it now only me that experience pain? So it was until I now spoke to a couple of other of my friends that they now told me that, oh, they also experience pain. And I also understood that, oh, okay, this menstrual stuff is, some girls experience menstrual cramps, why some girls does not experience menstrual cramps. And then, but I was not happy. I was like, why must I now be part of those girls that experience menstrual cramps? So yeah, I spoke to that my friend, and then she told me that the product that she make use of was Felvin. Most girls knows about this Felvin product. Right now I'm not making use of this Felvin product, so I don't have this drug with me. But I will see if I can find the picture of this drug so that I can insert the picture somewhere up for you to actually see what this Felvin actually looks like. So yeah, this Felvin is nice. It was helping me and all those stuff. Like, it was actually helping me to, like, get rid of my menstrual cramp, but it was not really helping me to get rid of my menstrual cramp. Even when I make use of this Felvin drug, I still tend to feel menstrual cramp until I came across this drug. This is the ibuprofen drug. I don't have the packet of this drug with me, but this is just what this drug looks like, and the name of this drug is ibuprofen. Okay, so this is just what this drug actually looks like. Basically, what you want to do, if you want to get this drug, just walk into a pharmacy and then you ask them you need ibuprofen. Okay, so they just give you the ibuprofen drug. So this is now the one I make use of presently, and this one is very, very active. Like, it really helps me immediately my period. This is how I make use of my drug, that I don't most times I don't even experience menstrual cramp. And that is, once my period comes out, I will not even wait for it to reach 1 or 2 hours. I will take one of these. I'll take one capsule and I'm going to swallow it. So before this finish dissolving inside my body, by that time the pain might have already started coming out small. So it will now be like, the pain is coming out small, then this drug has now killed the pain. So this is just what I do. I make use of this ibuprofen drug. So if you're a lady and maybe you're still making use of Felvin, and maybe Felvin is not working for you, I mean, there are people out there that Felvin actually works well for them. But if you're like me, that Felvin doesn't actually work well for you, then my love, you should try out the ibuprofen drug. So this is what this drug actually looks like, and this is drug that I make use of, and it has actually been very, very good for me. It really, really helps me out. And you might be wondering, so you don't have to swallow paracetamol. How are you now swallowing this, my dear? I had to force myself. I had to tell myself, see, this thing is menstrual cramp. You see the way you used to vomit sometimes. I had to make this decision myself. It was not easy, but yeah, I've begun to, gradually I'm learning how to take drugs. And the reason why I have to force myself to learn how to take drugs is because of my menstrual cramp. It's not even because of I will be feeling sick and I have to take drugs. No, it's not because of that. It's actually because of my menstrual cramp. That's why I had to force myself to learn how to take drugs. So that's just one of my experience again with my menstruation stuff. It was very, very terrible. And then another tough experience, and this is something that I've not even started talking about this thing. I'm already feeling very, very sad. Like, it's just so crazy. I don't know if any of you all have actually experienced this stuff whereby, normally menstruation is supposed to come out 3 to 5 days. Like, that's the normal duration your menstruation is meant to last for. I mean, on a normal days, or on a normal day, your menstruation lasts for 4 days. And if the thing wants to be so stubborn, then it's going to be 5 days. As a matter of fact, I would say 4 days, because even when I'm saying that 5 days, there's a particular time that it will cease. Like, it will not come out for a very long time. Then before you know it will come out again. So I would just say 4 days. My menstruation actually lasts for 4 days. Okay, that's the regular period. That's the regular period my menstruation lasts for. But guess what happened? There was a time I saw my menstruation this month. I think that was last year. Yeah, last year I saw my period, and then it got to 5 days. Do you even know the funniest thing? Like, on the normal, I don't really have this heavy flow. Yeah, I'm happy about that. Like, despite the fact that I have menstrual cramps, I'm not the type of woman that has heavy flow. Like, there are some people that really have heavy flow, that before you know it, their pad is filled up, their clothes are stained. No, I'm not that type of person. I don't get heavy flow. So this was my first time experiencing heavy flow. I was like, how am I having this heavy flow? The first day I had heavy flow, second day heavy flow. I was like, okay, maybe because it's first day and second day, maybe my body system changed and all the stuff. Then 5th day, this thing did not cease. 5th day, I was still having my menstruation and it was still heavy flow. Then I started becoming terrified. I started becoming scared. Then do you know what? My menstruation still lasted for the 6th day, 7th day, up to the 11th day. Like, for a lady to see her menstruation from day 1 to 11 days, God, I don't know if any of you have not experienced it, but I pray none of you actually experienced this. For 11 days stretch, I was having heavy flow. Though I was not having menstrual cramp. The menstrual cramp only came up the first day and the second day. But no more menstrual cramp, but I was having heavy flow and my period kept on coming out. So, as I'm even saying this, and I feel like crying, because as I'm saying this, and I'm remembering what happened. It was not easy for me. I was not even able to go to school. Every small thing, my clothes would be stained. Before you know it, I started buying a lot of black clothes everywhere. My whole wardrobe was filled with black clothes, because I was actually scared that what if this thing actually happens to me again. So I had to talk to my mom about it, that see what is actually happening to me. Then my mom was like, would, like, she doesn't understand that. She has never experienced that kind of thing before. And I was like, me too, I don't even understand. Then I went to Google, like I searched. I was asking Google that, is it a normal thing for a lady to see her period for like 11 days, 12 days stretch? Then Google said that there are certain things that can actually cause that. Number one is stress. And then I was like, oh, during that period, I actually stressed myself, like no doubt. I stressed myself a lot, to the extent that I was not even sleeping well. There was a lot of things on my head. There were a lot of things I had to do that I had to really, really stress myself. So I felt like, okay, maybe it's because of this stress. So because of that, I felt like, oh, okay, no problem. I feel like it's because of this stress. Let me don't be so scared about it, since Google has actually told me that stress actually results in that. So I stopped stressing myself. And this thing was not even on the 11th day. I think this was on the 8th day that I actually made this research. I stopped stressing myself. So I felt like, okay, let me just give it one more day. If it's coming out on the 9th day, highest on the 10th day, it's supposed to stop, because I'm no more stressing myself. I stopped doing everything I was doing. I was just basically eating, watching Netflix, and sleeping. That was just how my day routine was. Like, I wake up in the morning, I will eat, I will have my shower, I watch Netflix, I will sleep. That was just how my life was like, because of that menstrual stuff. Then this thing did not still stop. It still came out on the 10th day, came out on the 11th day. Then it was on the 12th day. It also came out on the 12th day. But the thing there is that it started coming out. It was not heavy again. Like, it just reduced and all the stuff. I was like, why is it still coming out on the 12th day? Like, why? Then my mom told me that I should pray. I should take this thing to God in prayer. That it might actually be a spiritual attack and all the stuff. So yeah, I took it to God in prayer, because I was very, very terrified. I was very scared. Then I started remembering this woman in the Bible, the woman with the issue of blood that touched the cloth of a part of Jesus' cloth, and then she was healed. I was like, God forbid, I would not be like that woman with the issue of blood. I started crying, to be very sincere, guys. Like, it might be sounding funny to me right now, but that time I started crying. I didn't know who to run to. It was only God. I started praying. I was praying to God. Then before the 12th day, like I said, on the 12th day, it started coming out small. Then it was in the midnight, it now stopped. So on the 13th day, I was like, this thing is going to come out again. Please let this thing don't come out again. But on the 13th day, this thing did not come out again. So it was when everything now stopped. Then my dad also now told me that I should go to the hospital, let them do checkup for me. So I went to the hospital. Let's just go to the hospital. But I felt like God has already healed me. I just said, let's just go to the hospital and all this. So I went to the hospital. The doctor checked me up and then gave me medications to take. So I took these medications, and actually, I didn't actually experience that again. So it was just like a 1 month thing. This only happened to me for like 1 month. So I didn't actually experience that again. And up to now, I've never experienced that again. And I pray I never experience that again. So just, this is just something that was actually very, very terrifying for me. To be very sincere, like, I'm even trying to like hold in my tears, because I really want to cry, but I don't just want to cry out. But it was actually terrifying for me. So yeah, this is another tough experience I also had. Now finally, for this video, I just want to like give you all some tips on how you can track your period, because I feel like even some girls right now, they don't really understand how they can actually track their period. There's this app they call Flow, but me, I don't actually make use of this app, because I just feel like there's no way an app can really understand me. So the way I was able to like master how I can actually track my period and all those stuff, know when I am ovulating, when I'm in my fertile window and all those stuff, I have to study this thing, okay? I have to study this, and I went to Google. I made a lot of research, and I found out that you ovulate 14 days. Sometimes it comes like 10 to 14 days, that kind of period. So I understand all this stuff, and I also understood my body, that okay, this is what actually happens to my body whenever I am ovulating. So I understood everything about all the stuff, and then I started making use of calendar myself. So this is just the way I count my period. Like the very first day I see my period, I start counting day 1. I count stretch to 28 days. So sometimes it takes like 28 to 30 days, at most 30 days for me. So I'm not the type of woman that really have a regular menstrual cycle. Okay, sometimes my menstrual cycle is like 30 days, sometimes it's like 28 days, but it's never more than 30 days. So when I now understood that fact, I was able to like count these things very, very well. I'll be like, last month it took me how many days before I saw my period, so I'll now be able to like calculate this stuff very, very well. So that was how I knew that yes, that this is how to calculate this stuff. And if maybe you're just wondering, the most safest period or the most safest time if you're a lady and you want to have sex without protection, without condom and all those stuff, I'm not promoting you should go and have sex, so abstinence is very good. But the most safest time that maybe you want to have sexual intercourse with your partner and all those stuff, and you don't want to get pregnant, and neither do you want to use protection, is the 7th day, like you, let's just say 1 week to your next period. Okay, just like, you know, you are counting like 1 to 7 days to your next, that means on the 7th day then you see your period. So that 1 week to your next period is actually a very, very free day, that even if your guy comes inside you, you're not going to get pregnant. Okay, so that's just a tip for you to know if you don't know that. So that's just like a tip for you to know. But the other days, you have to be very, very careful. You have to be really, really, really very careful. Okay, so those were just how I was able to like track my period and all those stuff. You can actually still make use of that Flow app, but for me, I felt like this thing is, I'm not really understanding this app. I felt like this app was just not understanding to me. I was like, no, let me just do this thing myself. So I was just like, I'm going to do this thing myself. So that's just all. I don't want to keep on talking so that this video will not be so lengthy. So that's just all about my period experience and all those stuff. Yeah, I think I'm just going to be ending here. So I hope you thought this my ranting or this my talk. You actually enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comment section. If there is anything I actually shared with you that you also relate to, please also let me know in the comment section. Let's talk. You know, anything you say, I am ready to like reply you all. So guys, that'll be all for today's video. I hope this video was enjoyable to you. I hope you loved this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give my video a very big thumbs up, and also don't forget to turn on the post notification bell to be notified when next I upload a new video. So my loves, I will see you all in my next video. Bye.